So the recording is started. Yeah. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's joining across the world. Welcome to the International Network Against Harmful Practices webinar. So today I've got an exciting guest with me. I've got Sani Bayero from Nigeria. Sani is the head of the forensic unit at the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. He's got a PhD in forensic science and a master's degree in post-conflict management. So today, Sani is going to be talking about catching killers and no cases. This is from some of the, title is from an article that we both wrote for The Skeptic that came out in July. So Sani, welcome very much and thank you very much for agreeing to do this with us.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Kate and Baker and all INAWARA team. Good morning.
Thank you very much. There might be some noise in the background from you that side, just to make you aware.
Yes.
Anyway, Sani, thank you for agreeing to do with this because this is quite an important issue in Africa at the moment because of the number of cases of harmful practice that occur across Southern Africa. So I'm going to hand over the floor over to you and tell us what we're going to be hearing from you today.
So thank you very much, Dr. Kate. This is a wonderful topic as it's our everyday activities here in the forensic unit. We receive most of these kind of cases, and I'm really glad that you brought this new initiative to help forensic specialists in investigating witchcraft and ritual cases. As you know, Dr. Kate, in Africa, ritualists and this kind of witchcraft narratives, it's really it's a narratives that is most and most of the African people believe in this kind of witchcraft and ritual activities. So it's really hard as we as forensic specialists to investigate this kind of criminal acts, even though sometimes you might find it in a way that sometimes it's not that kind of witchcraft or some kind of issues. The community that is there might change the to this is kind of a witchcraft or ritual. Evidence to prove that this witchcraft or this kind of act is really very tedious for us as a forensic expert. So thank you very much for bringing this topic and together with your team, the INAWARA team. So we are starting with the agenda. We are starting with the background, as I started from the first about background about witchcraft in Africa and specifically in Nigeria. So the second part, we are going to talk about crime versus belief narratives, which I started a little bit about it, about what the crime versus the narrative that these ritual narratives. So number 3, we are going to discuss about the criminological framework. Number 4 is behavioral analysis. 5 is forensic approach, which is the most tedious part because you need to go to the crime scene and gather some evidences there, which is not easy. So number 6 is the evidence challenges, which is also very tedious. So number 7, we are going to discuss about the case studies. Number 8 is the misinformation by the media. As I told you, sometimes you might find it like a case might not be that kind of a witchcraft or ritual, but the media might change it to seems a kind of witchcraft issue. So you might be getting it wrong. The people, the media, the people, the community might get it wrong. So number 9 is the law enforcement role, which we participate this kind of thing. Then number 10 to the like change of custody and the stuff like that. Then number 11 is the key takeaways we're going to discuss. So this agenda that we have here. So about the background, as I was saying, is a background about killers. So we are in the background, we are having a deeply rooted beliefs in witchcraft in parts of Nigeria. So as I shared some pictures with you, there are two narratives currently here in Nigeria. We have the southern part of Nigeria and the northern part of Nigeria. So these two regions have a different narratives of witchcraft perspectives. Like in the north, they believe like something of a supernatural being, maybe jinns, or maybe someone will send you the jinns, or say this they use this kind of supernatural being as their own kind of witchcraft narrative. While in the southern part, we are having more of a different, maybe more cultural way of doing this kind of witchcraft. Like in the south, you might find them in the bush. They call them juju, or maybe babal. Find them in the bush with so many structures, or say so many statues made from woods, or things like that. So these are the two narratives we currently have in Nigeria. While the northern part, is more of religious perspective, while the southern part is.
So in the northern part, they call it jinn. Is it because of the Muslim population? I think his internet is gone again. We're right getting into it. The internet is gone. Sani, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Take it. Maybe it's a slide. Yes.
We've been affected by witchcraft again.
You're hearing me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. So as I was saying, these are the two narratives we have in Nigeria. So this is the next. We have some, as I was telling you, in the Nigerian context, we have as I told you, juju and this Baba work, shape public perception of crime and rights concerns. Then the second about the to discuss is the legal position of this witchcraft and ritual acts. Currently in Nigeria, the term witchcraft is not a criminal offense.
Okay.
It's not something that you can give the evidence about it. So what is currently available in the legal is the witchcraft. It's not a focus is on the action. It's only on the action. Sometimes when the victim was being assaulted or being accused or being murdered, about this kind of issue, that's when we got some evidences about really what is going on. But you can't just say someone is engaging in witchcraft, or you brought a complaint about someone doing this kind of stuffs like that. So legally, currently in Nigeria, we don't have that term witchcraft or ritual thing as a crime legally. So, but we have so many things attached to it. Like this, your spirit protocol is really good that you brought this kind of issue, so we can use that kind of protocol to link the crime scene and the suspect, so that we can use it in court for prosecution. So these are the background we are going to discuss. So the second thing is the understanding motives criminological framework, understanding motives, structures, social drivers, and situational. Sorry.
No, I didn't say anything. You continue.
Okay. So in the criminological framework, we are having this labeling moral panics, cultural criminology, and the cat ritual ecological forensics. This is where the spiritual is really helping.
Yeah, to those who are not aware, I came out with a theoretical approach in terms of approaching and understanding offenders and the crime scenes around ritual practices. So I came out with ritual ecology or forensics because it combines routine activities theory, forensic narratives, and ecological narratives. So if you combine them together, they are better. Me and Sani, we agree he's a practitioner in the field. We agree that framework kind of works within that context.
Yes.
Over to you.
Okay.
So this is just a continuation of the previous slides in terms of like, we need to understand the behavior.
Yes, the next slide. Behavioral analysis. So in this part, we have offender profiling. It's important in witchcraft harmful. So we are using the motivation, e.g., as I told you, at the belief. We are discussing about the belief and the power, greed, then revenge. You know, sometimes you might have some grudges with someone, and he might just do some kind of ritual acts in order to get revenge. So we normally, when we receive this kind of issue, we normally investigate which person that, if you are suspecting the cases about this kind of witchcraft, we narrow it to something like maybe revenge, or you have a personal issue with someone. So we use that kind of behavioral analysis to factor this kind of issues. So we have the risk factors, something like substance abuse, mental health, or social influences. We also have association, the accomplice, the networks, have the geographical trends, something like has to do with the hotspots, the mobility. Like I told you, so most of these things are being done in the bushes or maybe some remote areas that is very hard for law enforcement to go there and gather some evidence. We have the behavioral patterns, that is the planning, the targeting, the modus operandi. So we all use kind of narratives to narrow it. Maybe when we go to the crime scene, we see this kind of structures or maybe these statues there, and some kind of things we think might help us with the investigation. So we all try this kind of thing to link the crime and the suspects in order to do this. So the next one is the demographics. So e.g., they have the gender and the background. So mostly in the gender, this is mostly happened by the women. In most cases, you find out that the female gender is being victimized by this kind of issue, especially the witchcraft. You know, sometimes, as I told you, when I was in one of the woman was being beaten up, and at long run she was we got the report. So when we went there, you know, most of these cases, the case of a traditional way of solving this kind of crimes. You know, mostly when it happens, before we reach there, in most cases, the traditional rulers they have a kind of way of resolving this kind of cases. You know, they have their people there that are good in investigating this kind of people there. So they solve this kind of crimes traditionally. They don't normally bring it up unless it brings something that has to do with homicide or maybe assault that's where we get most of the complaint, or maybe the victim maybe survive and came to us and report to us about this kind of issue. But most of these cases, they are being solved traditionally there in the smaller communities. So they have a way of investigating where this crime has been done, or it has not been committed, because they use their own methods to know. There are some families that they categorize that they have this kind of witchcraft gene in them. So they know that from their history, this is the family, this kind of family. Maybe she went to a newborn baby and she took and at the long run the baby died. So they might have some issues saying the woman has done some kind of witchcraft stuff to the baby. So I was telling you, this kind of issues, we normally have them, but we only charge based on the assault being made. And in most cases, it doesn't really matter, because it might be a coincidence. So, but you know how the narratives is. The people here, they normally believe in this kind of issues. So that's why we really find it very hard in bringing all this kind of investigating this kind of crimes. So we have the forensic investigation approach. So this is where we have the evidence-driven investigation. As I told you, the crime scene procession. We went there, we see what we can find there. So, and we have the pathology, the forensic pathology part. We have the digital forensics, that is, we check some networks where maybe the victim has went to a place that is there, or maybe using the geolocation of the area, or maybe through intelligence that this person has been going to, or maybe the suspect has been going to a bush to consult this kind of babala, or this kind of. So we use this kind of traces to justify that this person has used some kind of this kind of witchcraft or ritual stuff to the victim. So this is among the digital forensic. We use some digital forensic, and we do the chain of custody. So we try to maintain. As I told you, even though legally it's not there, the witchcraft word is not there, the ritual is not there, but we try to frame the thing as maybe homicide or assault, to link them up to do this kind of, to investigate this kind of offense. So the next slide, we have the rural access contamination risk. We have the witness bias and the delayed reporting. As I told you, most of these cases, they are being solved there traditionally. So we normally have a delay in receiving this kind of cases. So these factors can limit the reliability of the evidence. As I told you, this kind of thick bush there for us as forensic specialists to go there, gather evidence. Even the community might not support you, because they will tell you that this is a no-go area. They don't normally, they have some stuff. So getting that kind of evidence there, it's really tedious for us, because without the support of the community, because they might not try to show you where those kind of things are there, because they are afraid that this thing might affect them. We have the difficult terrain, long distance delay response. We have the limited transport resources, access to remote locations, poor or no communication networks, hinder communication, timely updates. We have the next slide, without contamination risk, the uncontrolled with the risk of evidence being distorted or destroyed. So we have the witness bias. As I told you, most of the witnesses, they might not come up to tell you what is really going on, and evidence collection, all those kind of challenges. So the next slide, we have the case study overview. We have the analysis of selected ritual related accusation cases and forensic findings versus public interpretation. As I told you, most of the issues, you might find it that it's not really the crime that has been committed, but the public and the media might shape it to seems like this is kind of witchcraft and issues like that. And for us, if we didn't find any forensic evidence to link it up, it might be so tedious for us to make this kind of overview. So this is a kind of some stuff we got from the crime scene. In most cases, I told you, this is a bag that we arrested recently. we are suspecting the man of being using this kind of ritual acts to use it on a victim. So this is a kind of bag. If you see, the bag is so traditional, made from this maybe leather parts and thing. This is a small bottle containing some liquid that maybe he can spray it in his this thing. This is a small bag of things. So this kind of kit, they maybe use it in a place. So you see, as this is, it can be very hard for this kind of crime for you to get any evidence, because he used this kind of small kit. He can just spray some sheets, like maybe a mat, and put all this kind of thing and do his things and move it on and move on. So when you go to the crime scene, you might not definitely find any trace of someone that has done it. So on the other side, we are having this kind of words. These are Islamic inscriptions, where I told you in the northern part of Nigeria, they wrote it on their wall of their houses to protect them from this kind of witchcraft narratives. This is to show you the extent that our people believe in this kind of ritual acts, which is really happening here in the northern part of the country. This is also another inscription being made at the houses, you see, to prevent this kind of acts to be penetrate through the doors of the houses. They are putting it mainly in the main wall of the houses to protect them from this kind of witchcraft narratives. So the other, this is part of the kits that they use. They normally use this kind of thing to put some maybe grinded leaves from some concussions, and maybe put light on it and to make the smoke. So from the smoke, they can they inhibit maybe or instigate a hallucination or.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, Sani has dropped off a bit, but he's trying to explain that one of the methods, it's also in one of my texts, what people use, they use hallucinations to influence proceeding within a ritual kind of scene. Are you back, Sani? Yeah.
Yes, I'm there. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
So,
it's okay.
Yes, so these are the kind of that is being there. So thank you very much, Mr. Kate. It's really a good topic, and we are really having it very challenging to investigate this kind of. So with this, your spirit protocol, I hope it will bring a lot to help victims, and as forensics, it's really very hard for you to know something that has been happening, or you have some kind of intelligence of a crime being committed, but you cannot prove. It is really very hard for us as forensics. So this is kind of the digital information we normally have. As I said it earlier, we have social media accelerates rumor propagation, influencing public pressure and investigative distortion. So as I told you, sometimes it might be a mere coincidence. Maybe the person they were suspecting went there and something happened, so they might just link it up to say it's a kind of witchcraft narrative. So the media really helped in promoting this kind of a thing. So we have a general like mob kills woman over witchcraft allegation in Kalum Bila. So normally when this kind of thing happen, before the law enforcement even reach there, the people there has already finalized. You see, they will put maybe a tire, or since they will burn the victim. So when you reach there, it's really it has already been done. The deed has been done. So one of the role of law enforcement, we have the protecting suspects, ensuring evidence-based policy, managing community relations, and reducing investigative bias. So we have the ethics and the human rights. This is what the INAWARA is really doing great here with the support of the INAWARA team, and in promoting and maybe with human rights awareness of this kind of the protecting suspects, victims, and communities, while ensuring lawful and unbiased investigations. So it's really the ethics there and the human rights are really making it really helpful in our investigation. So I think the next slide is the key takeaways we have is the evidence belief. So as I told you, the evidence and the belief is really interwoven. So the evidence you got there and the belief that people there are, it's really very hard to bring these two together, because it's really inculcated in our cultures and our beliefs. So for you to separate the evidence from the belief is really hard and the second takeaway is the forensics ensures truth. So all what we are doing is for us to make it to link the crime that happened to the victim, and maybe to the suspect. So the forensics really, we are really trying very hard to gather a slight evidence that we can have in order to link it up, even though, you know, legally, if you don't have, we call it beyond reasonable doubt. You need to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And proving beyond reasonable doubt is not easy in terms of this kind of witchcraft and ritual. It needs some strong scientific proof for you to prove this kind of issues, unless you find this kind of, I told you, some leaves, maybe hallucination, or all these kind of issues. So with your forensic chemical toxicological analysis, forensics, so you can link it up together. Then we have bias must be controlled. So as I told you, there is another, in the case studies, even a police officer tried to kill his own daughter, alleging her she has been she has engaged in this kind of witchcraft. So you see, to the extent that even the law enforcement believes in this kind of things. So for the thing. So thank you very much, Dr. Kate. This is the spirit protocol. I did it in a brief. This is your take. I think I can have a.
You can have a break.
I can have you.
Yeah. So
This kind of.
quite briefly, I'm gonna take the floor briefly. Basically, me
Yes.
and me and Sani are from a forensic background, so I'm taking my forensic background and using it into witchcraft harmful practices. So I was, as somebody, we both work in the police. When we're working certain jobs within the police, there are certain protocols for different types of jobs. So I figure that there's no good protocol in terms of investigating witchcraft crimes to overcome some of the problems that Sani was as articulated. Problems such as officer belief, problems such as media, problems such as gathering evidence, analysis of evidence. So we can overcome that by coming up with a protocol called Structured Protocol for Investigation, Ritual and Intangible Threats. It's basically a step-by-step program in which we analyze ritual crime scenes using certain parameters, and using certain parameters in forensic science, parameters in criminology, and parameters in policing. Specifically, if I can link it to the slides, it's three routes that we want to look at: the policing route, the forensic route, and the behavior analysis route. All these are the routes that Sani has been describing that are problematic in each and every way themselves. So I'll be posting more of that later on, but I just thought I'll drop in and describe the protocol, and also to show how it can have utility in different places. So I'll be sharing more information with Sani as we go along, and also we've got an app that I'll be sharing with Sani as we go along. So this is a recording, Sani. So I bet there were hundreds and hundreds of people who wanted to ask you all sorts of questions about the types of crimes that you come across, the evidence that you collect, and the challenges. Have you got any final overview thoughts about your experience in investigating harmful practices in Nigeria?
So the overview is that, as I told you, it's a really very tedious job that requires more scientific, strong scientific proof to prove this kind of, because this is something that happens. So it's a traditional thing, or that is supernatural, using like this kind of issue of having supernatural being doing some kind of stuffs for people. So it's really very hard for you to link that kind of crime to the
Yeah, what he's saying, Sani, basically is like we need to behavior analysis, and also we need to link most of these crimes, because at the moment, because of fear and because of the things that he articulated, there is the inability to link things and therefore identify offenders, identify victims, and also then result in the apprehension of offenders. So thank you very much, Sani. I don't know whether you can hear me. Your skin is frozen. I'm gonna stop recording. Thank you very much. I'll post this on social media and also put additional notes where we were not able to record anything. So I'm gonna stop recording now. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll have a Q&A on the YouTube, which I'm gonna post.